Second Empire is an architectural style most popular between 1865 and 1880, and so named for the architectural elements in vogue during the era of the Second French Empire. As the Second Empire style evolved from its 17th-century Renaissance foundations, it acquired an eclectic mix of earlier European styles. Most notably the Baroque, often combined with mansard roofs and low, square-based domes. The style quickly spread and evolved as Baroque Revival architecture throughout Europe and across the Atlantic. Its suitability for superscaling allowed it to be widely used in the design of municipal and corporate buildings. In the USA, where one of the leading architects working in the style was Alfred B. Mullet, buildings in the style were often closer to the 17th-century roots than examples of the style found in Europe. In France, Palais du Louvre, Paris, Louis Visconti and Hector Lafeuille, architects. Most buildings on the Champs-Élysées, Paris, Élysée Palace, Paris, Joseph-Eugène Lacroix, architect. Hôtel du Palais, Biarritz. Musée de Picardie, Amiens. Palais Garnier, Paris. Phantom Manor, Marne-la-Vallée. In the United States, the Empire style frequently combined a rectangular tower, or similar element, with a steep mansard roof, the roof being the most noteworthy link to the style's French roots. This tower element could be of equal height to the highest floor, or could exceed the height of the rest of the structure by a story or two. The mansard roof crest was often topped with an iron trim, sometimes referred to as cresting. In some cases, lightning rods were integrated into the cresting design, making the feature useful beyond its decorative features. Although still intact in some examples, this original cresting has often deteriorated and been removed. The exterior style could be expressed in either wood, brick or stone. More elaborate examples frequently featured paired columns as well as sculpted details around the doors, windows and dormers. Floor plans for Second Empire residences could either be symmetrical, with the tower in the center, or asymmetrical, with the tower a tower-like element to one side. Virginia and Lee McAllister divided the style into 5 subtypes: simple mansard roof, about 20%, slanted wing or gable, asymmetrical, about 20%, central tower, about 30%, townhouse. The architect H. Richardson designed several of his early residences in the style, evidence of his French schooling. These projects include the Crown and Shield House in Boston, Massachusetts, the H. Richardson House in Staten Island, New York, and the William Dorsheimer House in Buffalo, New York. Chateau-sur-Mer, on Bellevue Avenue, in Newport, Rhode Island, was remodeled and redecorated during the Gilded Age of the 1870s by Richard Morris Hunt in this style. Leland M. Roth refers to the style as Second Empire Baroque. Mullet Smith terms it the Second Empire a general Grant style due to its popularity in designing government buildings during the Grant administration. The style was also used for commercial structures, and was often used when designing state institutions. Several psychiatric hospitals proved the style's adaptability to the size and functions. Prior to the construction of the Pentagon during the 1940s, the Second Empire style Ohio State Asylum for the Insane in Columbus, Ohio, was reported to be the largest building under one roof in the U.S., though the title may actually belong to Greystone Park Psychiatric Hospital, another Kirkbride Second Empire asylum. Second Empire was succeeded by the revival of the Queen Anne style and its substyles, which enjoyed great popularity until the beginning of the Revival era in American architecture just before the end of the 19th century. Popularized by the architecture at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893. Notable buildings: United States Jerome Mansion, 32 East 26th Street, New York, NY. Thomas R. Jackson, architect. Main building: Vassar College, Poughkeepsie, New York. James Renwick, Jr., architect. Security building, Miami, Florida. Robert Greenfield, architect. Old City Hall, Boston, Massachusetts. Bryant and Gilman, architects. Terrace Hill, Des Moines, Iowa. William W. Boyington, architect. Alexander Ramsey House, St. Paul, Minnesota. Scherer and Summers, architects. St. Ignatius College Prep, Chicago, Illinois. To San Bernard, architect. Hecandra's House, Raleigh, North Carolina. George S. H. Applegate, architect. Gilsey House, New York City, New York. Stephen Dokatach, architect. Baltimore City Hall, Baltimore, Maryland. George A. Frederick, architect. City Hall, Post Office and Courthouse, New York City, New York. Alfred B. Mullett, architect. Grand Union Hotel, Saratoga Springs, New York. Hall of Languages, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. Horatio Nelson White, architect. Atlanta Union Station, Atlanta, Georgia. Max Corput, architect. Wright's Home, Evansville, Indiana. Eisenhower Executive Office Building, Washington, D.C. Alfred B. Mullett, architect. Renwick Gallery, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C. James Renwick, Jr., architect. Philadelphia City Hall, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. John MacArthur, Jr., architect. South Hall, University of California. Berkeley, Farquharson and Kennetzer, architects. United States Custom House and Post Office, St. Louis, Missouri. Alfred B. Mullett, architect. Woodburn Hall, Morgantown, West Virginia. Additions by Elmer F. Jacobs, architect. George W. Fulton Mansion, Rockport, Texas. Central Hall on the Hillsdale College Campus, Hillsdale, Michigan. Providence City Hall, Providence, Rhode Island. Samuel J. F. Thayer, architect. Spring Hill Ranch House, Tall Grass Prairie National Preserve, Strong City, Kansas. United States Post Office, Hannibal, Missouri. Mifflin E. Bell, architect. Vigo County Courthouse, Deotte, Indiana. Samuel Hannaford, architect. Caldwell County Courthouse, Lockhart, Texas. Giles and Guyton, architects. Grand Opera House, Wilmington, Delaware. Thomas Dixon, architect. Knowlton Hat Factory, Upton, Massachusetts. Architect unknown. Mitchell Building and adjacent Chamber of Commerce, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. E. Townsend Mix, architect. Old Main, University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas. John M. Van Osdell, architect. 158 South Willard, Burlington, Vermont. University of Vermont, built for William Wells. 18 Congress Avenue, Haverstraw, New York. Architect unknown. The inspiration for Edward Hopper 1925 painting House by the Railroad. United Kingdom Langham Hotel, City of Westminster, London. Giles and Murray, architects. 95 Chancery Lane, London. F. W. Porter, architect. National Bank, Belgravia, Victoria, London. T. Chatfield Clark, architect. Great Northwestern Hotel, Liverpool. Alfred Waterhouse, architect. Criterion Theatre, Piccadilly Circus, London. Thomas Verity, architect. Western Pumping Station, Chelsea, London. Old Billingsgate Market, London. Horace Jones, architect. Cambridge Gate, Regent's Park, London. Archer and Green, architects. Garden House, Chelsea, London. J. T. Smith, architect. 75 Holland Road, Brighton and Hove. Thomas Laneson, architect. Canada. In Canada, Second Empire became the choice of the new Dominion government in the 1870s and 1880s for numerous public buildings on the provinces followed suit. Montreal City Hall, Montreal, Quebec, Perrot and Hutchison, architects. General Post Office, Toronto, Ontario, Henry Langley, architect. Windsor Hotel, Montreal, Quebec. St. John City Market, St. John, New Brunswick, McKean and Fairweather, architects. Parliament Building, Quebec City, Quebec, Eugene Etienne Taquet, architect. Mackenzie Building, Royal Military College of Canada, Kingston, Ontario, Robert Gage, architect. New Brunswick Legislative Building, Fredericton, New Brunswick, J.C. Dumaresque, architect. Government House, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Langevin Block, Ottawa, Ontario, Thomas Fuller, architect. Australia. In Australia, and especially in Melbourne, this style became popular during the boom years of the 1880s. Many hut buildings exist today, particularly many of Melbourne's town halls. Melbourne Town Hall, Melbourne, Victoria, Joseph Reed, architect. Bendigo Town Hall, Bendigo, Victoria. Melbourne General Post Office, Melbourne, Victoria, A. E. Johnson, architect. Kew Asylum, also known as Willsmere, Kew, Victoria. Parliament House, Brisbane, Queensland, Charles Tiffin, architect. Sydney Town Hall, Sydney, New South Wales, J. H. Wilson, architect. South Melbourne Town Hall, Melbourne, Victoria, Charles Webb, architect. Royal Exhibition Building, Melbourne, Victoria, Joseph Reed, architect. Bathurst Hospital, Bathurst, New South Wales, William Bowles, architect. Bendigo Post Office, Bendigo, Victoria, George W. Watson, architect. Bendigo Courthouse, Bendigo, Victoria. Hotel Windsor, Melbourne, Victoria, Charles Webb, architect. Collingwood Town Hall, Melbourne, Victoria, George R. Johnson, architect. Princess Theatre, Melbourne, Victoria, William Pitt, architect. Chief Secretary's Building, Sydney, New South Wales, Second Empire Editions by Walter L. Vernon, architect. Shamrock Hotel, Bendigo, Victoria, Philip Kennedy, architect. Former Records Office, Melbourne, Victoria, S. E. Brindley, architect. Argentina Buenos Aires Central Post Office, Buenos Aires, Mayutans Polski, architects. Belgium Brussels Stock Exchange, Brussels, Elia Kuto Ensuis, architect. Turkey Bailey B Palace, Istanbul, Hagop and Sarkis Balian, architects.